morning, everyone. This is Nancy from the Hobby Studio. You're going to join us in our raised bed garden at our home, and today we're going to discuss squash. There's two different types of squash. There is summer squash and winter squash. Summer squash would be like your zucchini, your yellow summer squash. Winter squash would be like your butternut and your acorn squash. Summer squash you harvest when the fruit gets about 6 inches long. If it gets longer, it tends to get very seedy and is not as edible. When you start seeing blooms on your zucchini, you think you should get fruit right away, but you got to realize there's male and female flowers, and sometimes you've only got male flowers or only female flowers, and until you have both of those on the plant do you get pollination and start getting fruit. You want to harvest those again in the summer months. Keep them well watered. The winter squash, usually you start harvesting later in the summer months, and you harvest those when the skin gets a rind on them and it gets fairly hard. You want to go ahead and pick those at that point, and you're going to let those set and cure outside about 3 days, and then you're going to store them in a cool place, about 50 to 60 degrees if possible, and they will keep almost all winter long. Squash is a great, easy vegetable to grow. You can grow those in containers as well, mostly your summer squash. There are varieties that are bush varieties that are easier to grow in containers. Always watch out for squash bugs. Squash bugs are the worst insect that we can get on our squash bugs. Once they get on there, they can cause a disease and they can kill your plant like overnight. So watch for them. They have kind of a triangular body. You can get spray, and you need to spray the center of the zucchini plant or any kind of squash plant. And if you want to go organic, you'll have to pick them off and look on the underneath side of the leaves for eggs, and you have to scrape those off as well. So thanks for joining me again in our garden. You can always stop by the studio and ask more questions. We're there Thursday, Friday, Saturday from 11 to 6. Thanks for joining me.